Zealand is on a lot of people's bucket lists, and the general idea is that you go like for 2 or 3 weeks, otherwise you won't have enough time. But we went only for 1 week and we enjoyed both the North Island and the South Island. So in this video I will show you how you can enjoy New Zealand, both North and South, in only 7 days. Start by drawing our entire route on this map, and this is the North Island. So on the first day of our trip we started our road trip in Auckland, and then we drove all the way down to the Tongariro Alpine crossing. And the first thing that I really liked about New Zealand was how beautiful the roads were. New Zealand really has the best roads. New Zealand 大好き。Tongariro crossing is one of the best hikes in the world, so I was really looking forward. But on our first day in New Zealand, it was raining and it wouldn't stop, and they told us that we couldn't go up the mountain. And because it's one of the best hikes in New Zealand, I really wanted to go and check out the trail. So we drove our car to the parking area and we just decided to check out the trail for a few hundred meters. Horrible weather on our first day in New Zealand.
4時間のトレイルスタート。日本ゴールデンウィークで暖かくなってきてるけど、もうニュージーランドも真逆で冬一歩手前だからめっちゃ寒い。
世界ハイキングコースの中でトップ10に入ってるから本当に残念。
残念だね。なんかこの景色もなんかニュージーランドって感じしてすげえ綺麗。残念。
Then after that we drove all the way down to Wellington because the next day we would catch a ferry to go to the South Island. We took the ferry from Wellington to Picton, which goes like this and is a 3-hour ferry ride.
わお、でっけえトラックばっかり。Very good.
We did it! 気づきだったね。
めちゃめちゃ風強いね。かわいい寝てる。フェリーの中に映画館がある。そしてムービーコンボ、ティーコンボ、コンボばっかり。後でこのコンボ食べる。長い旅だった。
So the ferry dropped us off at a city called Picton, and then we drove about 200 kilometers along the coastline, which was a very nice ride, to Kaikoura. And Kaikoura is famous for its wildlife. We drove a little bit farther to the Kaikoura Peninsula walkway, where you can see seals just right in front of you, chilling at the beach. And they have little pups as well, which are like playing with kombu in the water, and it was just so cute.
なんかここにいっぱいいるはずなんだけどまだ見つからないで、500メートル先にいるっておじちゃんたち言ってたから行く。行けた？あ、いるじゃん。すごくて日本からラーメン買って持ってきてくれた。
After that, we just continued driving along the coastline and we headed to Christchurch, where we would spend the night. On day 3, we drove from Christchurch all the way to Mount Cook National Park, which was a quite long drive, but on the way we got to see one of the most beautiful lakes. We first passed Lake Tekapo, which was a very beautiful lake, but then we arrived at Lake Kaki, which is one of the bluest lakes I've ever seen, and it also got us a first glimpse of Mount Cook, which was one of the highlights of our entire trip. Then we drove along the lake, which is probably one of the most beautiful roads in entire New Zealand, and then we arrived at a village called Mount Cook. Tasman Glacier. So the Tasman Glacier is the longest glacier in entire New Zealand. It's about 26 kilometers or 27 kilometers long, and it's melting at a rate of 500 meters per year. And all the meltwater is just flowing towards Lake Pukaki. So Lake Pukaki basically consists of melting water from the glacier. And the Tasman Glacier, so we thought it would be a nice idea to just go and see both glaciers, but the trail that led to the Hooker Glacier was closed unfortunately, so we didn't get a glimpse of the Hooker Glacier. さっきのは多分どこにいたんだろう。あ、ここにいた。
あ、ブルーレイク。
そうで、今は多分ここからこう行く。Another glacier, which is in the Hooker Valley, and normally the course would take about 3 hours, but we can't cross the bridge because a part of the course is swept away. So we're already done, which is kind of a pity, but we'll just go to Lake Pukaki and chill out because we haven't been chilling out for a while, right?
Yes, そこで休みましょう。渋滞になって何かと思ったら羊の大群。犬が仕事してない。 すごい道の真ん中歩いてるぜ。あれ、この人アイスクリーム食べてる。
Attraction so far.
うわー、真ん中歩いてる。
And then because we had a little bit of spare time, we just drove back to Lake Pukaki, where there is one of the nicest alpine salmon shops in entire New Zealand. They raise their salmon within this area and they don't use any antibiotics or anything, so the salmon is super healthy, it was super fresh, and it was the most delicious salmon I've ever had. So make sure if you're there, you check out the Mount Cook Alpine Salmon Shop.
料理よろしくお願いします。
We're baking fresh salmon with Mount Cook in the background.
出来上がり、出来上がり。
めっちゃふわふわだよ、たくちゃん。
成功？
To Wakana, which is about 200 kilometers, and Wakana is famous for its lakes. It's famous for its water sports during the summer, but we were there during autumn, so we decided to hike and see the lakes from above.
めちゃめちゃ急で焦る。疲れたね。
もっとゆっくり大変。
ちょっとこの山急だね。はいはい。
We made it. It was such a long hike. I think like about 3 hours, but it was just uphill for the whole time. It was deadly, but we made it, and look at the view.
どうでした？久しぶりの登山。
やっぱり登山大嫌い。
いや大好きだよ。マイケちゃんマジ大好きなんだよ。綺麗だったね。
On day 5, we decided to drive back to Christchurch all the way. So in Christchurch, we decided to check out the Antarctic Center because Christchurch is one of the gateways to the Antarctic. And we drove in a vehicle that is used for expeditions on the Antarctic, and we learned a lot. どこに行くんだろう？
周りを走って終わりじゃない。プープー。
Storm is coming. lot of restaurants in New Zealand yet, but we went to Bacon Brothers in Christchurch, and this was one of our favorite restaurants in entire New Zealand. They have the best burgers, so if you want to eat burgers and you're in Christchurch, please go and check out this place. On day 6, we drove back to Kaikoura. Remember I told you that Kaikoura is famous for its wildlife? So we booked a whale watching tour and we saw 2 whales on that day. Living quite a few whales in this area and also a few orcas and dolphins and seals. So I think if you book one of the tours, it's guaranteed that you're going to see either like a lot of seals, whales, orcas or dolphins.
But I'm not even going to show you that, folks, because the boat's going to start stopping now and we're going to get you outside. So, I'm going to just leave.
Our ferry, so we drove all the way back to Picton, where the ferry would pick us up and we would go back to the North Island. We spent the night in Wellington, and on the next day, day 7, the longest drive of our lives was waiting for us because we had to go from Wellington back to Auckland, because at night we had to catch our flight back to Japan. So a 500 kilometer or more than 500 kilometer drive was waiting for us, but we made 2 stops on the road. So our first stop was around Lake Taupo, which is I think one of the biggest, or if not the biggest lake in New Zealand. And the views of the lake and the views from the lake are just amazing. Our second stop was about here at a place called Matamata, because we were going to do one of the most exciting things of our whole trip, which was visiting Hobbiton. We're going to visit the Hobbiton movie set and I'm so excited! It's already looking like the Shire around here.
So guys, I can now officially welcome you all to Hobbiton. Woo! Now guys, can we all see the big green door on top of the hill? Can anyone tell me who might live at that very famous home if they know? It is of course Bilbo and Frodo Baggins, guys.
In New Zealand road tripping. We covered about 2,500 kilometers and about $500 in gas.